Hey there, welcome back to my garden. Actually, welcome back to basically my mother-in-law's orchard. This orchard is part of the property that my husband and I live on with our family. It's basically a large piece of family property. And this orchard area was established by my husband's grandparents, probably, I don't know, 50 years ago or so. And it's been just really a delight to have on our property with access to, with all the fruit and the berries and all the things that grow in here. And today I wanted to come down here and pick some apples because I've been craving this amazing applesauce that I've been making over the last several weeks. I think I've made it maybe 4 times. And I'm ready to make it again, and especially because we're having some pretty major rain expecting. They're saying maybe 3 inches over the next day, and then some really crazy winds. And I think that's kind of the turn for us this fall here in Western Oregon. I'm in zone 8B, our turn in our weather. And so I wanted to come down here, pick as many apples as I could that still looked good so that I can make some more applesauce and also some amazing apple cake. But I wanted to kind of bring you guys down here and just show you around because this is an area that I haven't really shared before. Since it's not technically my garden, but we're very, very grateful just to be able to, basically consider it ours. We help take care of the trees. We get to reap the benefits. So I'll just turn you around and give you just a little tour of the fruit that we have in here. And then I will pick some apples and we'll go up and we will make the applesauce. All right, so the first trees that we come onto are 2 pears, and those are obviously done, but we had an amazing harvest this year. I did can several quarts, I think maybe, 20 quarts or so of those, and also dried a lot of them, as did my mother-in-law. So we had an amazing harvest of those pears. And then we have this beautiful large apple tree. This one I believe is probably a Golden Delicious. If I had to guess, you can tell obviously by looking at them, we don't spray these at all. They obviously have lots of bugs and all the things, but there's lots on here that are still pretty good, even though they have the damage from the bugs. This is still perfectly usable for applesauce and the like. What we don't use for applesauce and for other yummy treats that we eat, we can give to our cows. I just drove past them and they were already mooing at me, wanting to get some apples. So this really large Golden Delicious apple tree is awesome. Over here we have 3 huge blueberry bushes. I don't know the varieties of them, but you can see, aren't they beautiful in the fall? The color on these is absolutely stunning. I mean, it's totally worth being an ornamental plant. And then on top of that, you get amazing berries. So you can see up there, that's probably at least 8 feet tall, that last one. The last one gets big, huge, beautiful blueberries. These 2 in the front here are the most flavorful, I think, but all 3 of them are different varieties. They've been in the ground. I honestly don't know when his grandma probably planted them, but we get gallons and gallons and gallons of blueberries off of those every year. There's also 2 different varieties of grapes in here. There's table grapes, and then there's also, let's see if I can find any, if there's still any on here. I don't know if I'll be able to find any. We have bunnies that come in here, and we also have deer that can access in here, and we also have a family of quail that have been in here, and I think they've pretty much stripped these clean. But there are, I think I just heard the quail run off over there. There's purple grapes and there's some just regular green grapes. Some of them have seeds, some of them don't. We've made juice in the past. We've made, all the things, jelly, wine, all that stuff. I think you can definitely see deer have probably been in here by how many of the leaves are chewed off, which is fine. It's not the worst. And then there's this huge corner of blackberries, which is basically wild, I think, but we still harvest off of those a ton. Here's a fig tree also. Has some figs growing on it. I don't know if they're going to amount to much this year. I'm not sure what's going on with this. I don't particularly care for figs, but it's a huge fig tree. I was just at the garden center today and I was hearing somebody asking a person working there if we can grow figs in our area outside, and I kind of wanted to tell him, yes, you can, because this tree has been here for decades and it's producing pretty well. I don't know much about them. Like I said, it doesn't look like it's doing great, but it has definitely produced a lot in the past. So up here, I don't know what the varieties of these are. There's a lot on the ground, so I'll probably be picking some of those for the cows, but like this one looks good, and they are delicious. They're wonderful apples, very beautiful too, so I should be able to find several on here, probably. Let's see, here's one. I actually did stand here. Yeah, that one looks pretty good too. I did stand here at this tree earlier on in the season, and I actually thinned it a little bit. I was standing here, my husband was over behind me working on some stuff with the water, and I just stood here and I just picked off maybe like every other apple, any apples that were close to each other, so that I could see if maybe that would help. And honestly don't know if it did or not. I didn't really come over here to check how it did, but it was a good amount. We've already come down here and we've picked hundreds of pounds of apples. So I've had friends that came over and picked 100 pounds or so of apples. It's been a good harvest on these for sure. I don't know if my little thinning job did any good or not, but it was worth a try. So anyway, I got a couple off of that tree, but now let's go around to right over here. That one is a cherry tree that has never done well. It's never produced anything as far as I know. But anyway, there's this little apple tree. Let me see if I can back up and you can see. It is so short. The suckers that are going up off the top now might be hitting 8 feet or so, but there's such a little clearance underneath these. But look at how beautiful these apples are. I mean, they could pretty much be an ornamental apple. Just knocked one down. And these ones are really, really good too. Put them over here with my little pile since I left my container over by the other one. But these ones, the color on them is absolutely stunning. So pretty. They vary in size, but they are ones that are, oh, that one is just perfect. So good. That'll be hard to not just eat on my way back up. But yeah, this one, super good. I wish I knew the flavor, but this one right here, and then the Golden Delicious over there, those are the ones that I have been repeatedly using in my applesauce. I don't know, and I'm kind of sticking with it because I know that the result was really good. Look at this little tree. Isn't that funny? It's being held up by a post right in there. I don't even know if I can see where the trunk is. No. Oh, that is the trunk. This right here is the trunk. You can see that, and it's just completely laying over. It doesn't get, you can see the post back there that's supporting it. It's, I don't know, it's not more than 4 feet tall at the highest point. So this one's a little difficult to harvest off of. I could probably crawl in there and get some of those off of underneath there. Let's see if we can get this guy. Just little, but probably pretty yummy, being small, and it looks like it's probably perfectly ripe now at this point. So just put that one in my pocket. These ones right here are my husband's favorite. Again, it's just super, super red. Almost, again, looks ornamental to me. So pretty. There's some on the ground. Oh, that one's been eaten. That one too. Some of these I'll pick up. This size is nice for us to give to our cows. They're kind of small. They can handle them a little bit better, but these ones look like they're probably get a couple of these off of here to use, but really beautiful color. This gorgeous big leaf maple over here. This one right here is some sort of a pear. It's different than the other ones. I think the other ones are just a normal Bartlett pear, but these ones are a lot more crisp, I guess, and the skin is really kind of hard. So I'm not really sure what they're meant to be used for. I did try one this year, and I wasn't a huge fan of the flavor. I wish I knew the varieties. I wish I knew what they were supposed to be for, because maybe they have a different use. You know, maybe they're better for canning because they are a little bit tougher. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's producing fruit, and I probably should harvest them and give them to the animals so they don't go to waste. But then here's one more apple tree. I don't know what this one is. We could definitely, I'm sure, benefit from spraying But we get such a harvest off of these without spraying that it's kind of like, I think it would be overwhelming if we did spray the amount of good apples we would get. We probably wouldn't even know what to do with them. But I guess we just have more friends come and pick. But I still totally will pick these ones. All my recipes call for peeling the apples anyway, so I don't mind if they have, you know, blemishes like that on the skin at all. That's not an issue for me. But this one didn't have as many apples on it as the other ones did. For some reason, they all bloomed beautifully, so I know that they had the blooms and they had the potential, but I don't know. I mean, I can see how many on this one, this little itty bitty tree, compared to that big one there in the corner. And this one had a lot more apples. So we're just gonna go down here and I'm just gonna get my bucket. I'm gonna start putting good ones in my little, I don't even know what it's called. It's not even a harvest basket or anything. It's just a thing I got at the dollar store, but it works great because then you can easily rinse in it because it's just plastic and it has holes. So that's pretty nice for apples. And then I just have another one to be able to put some in for the cows. So I'm just going to start right here with the Golden Delicious, get some of these, and then move up to the other trees. All right, well, I didn't even go over to the other ones up on the top of the orchard because this I think is enough. This will be enough for probably 3 or 4 batches of the applesauce that I make, plus the apple cake that I want to do. So yeah, that's a good healthy haul of my 2 favorite apples in this garden. And then I did get just a little bucket for the goats and for all the cows to have, and also of course the chickens. So I think we're all set for the apples then. This is absolutely plenty. There's still tons more to pick, but that I guess will have to just be for another day. And so I'm gonna load these onto the 4-wheeler and then we'll head out to the house and start making some applesauce. Hey, do you guys know what I have for you? So that's Missy. And then we have Lily, and we have the dude, and then we have Minnie Pearl over there, and that's Allie over there. Missy right here is 2. She was our first baby that was born on the property. All the mamas and then our original bull, they're up on the top part of the property. These are just our babies down here. The dude isn't one of ours. He wasn't born here, but he's another bull that we have. For the other 3 babies, they're a year old and they were all born here on the property. See, the border collies are absolutely freaked out right now. They really want to be working the cows, not just observing them from outside of the fence. But let's give them, we'll throw in a fair amount of these apples here. Choose one, another one. Here, here, Missy, Missy. Okay, let's just throw them. So these are all Longhorns, if you can't tell. All just the Texas Longhorn, full purebred, and they're so fun. They're definitely my husband's hobby slash pets slash, I don't know. He loves them, but we all enjoy them actually really quite a bit. They're really fun. I think we'll save the rest of these for the goats, because they love them too. So our goats are Nigerian Dwarf La Mancha Cross. They're not sisters, but they look definitely like they could be related. The light colored one is Maple, the dark colored one is Bean. Nope. And they love their apples too. Oh, was that one too sour? apples are chopped and peeled. They're in about chunks of probably 8ths, I guess, for each apple. I like to do it like that because it allows the applesauce to remain pretty chunky. So you could potentially use one of those little contraptions that attaches to the side of your countertop, and you stick the apple on it and you turn the crank and it peels it and also slices it all at once and cores it. I don't do that for this because I like the applesauce to remain more chunky, but I also noticed that when I do that with our apples that we grow here, which are really quite juicy, I lose a lot of the juice as I'm doing that. So I prefer to do it this method. Super easy. That's the longest part of this entire process. I realized earlier on that my mic wasn't working, so I was trying to explain some things. I'll just kind of reiterate what I was saying in the beginning. I do wash my apples. I don't really put a lot of pressure on myself to really do that because we don't spray or anything, but there are a lot of birds that go through the trees. And so on the off chance that they've, gone to the bathroom on the apples, I like to rinse those off. And especially obviously if I get any of them off of the ground, I'll obviously wash them. So yeah, just washed them, peeled them, chopped them, got the cores out. Super, super easy. Let me just show you the recipe in case you guys want to screenshot it. This is what we're going for. Now you can see this is not necessarily meant to be a overly healthy option for applesauce. There is a bit of sugar in it. For a regular recipe, like you saw there, you'd only put half a cup in, and then you put a teaspoon cinnamon, 1.5 tablespoons of the lemon, and then I do put a little bit of salt in mine as well. I'm doubling it, so obviously I'll put twice as much of everything in there. Super, super basic. I used to make applesauce just kind of winging it. I wouldn't use a recipe. And whenever I would do it, I would cover the apples with water. And that was such a mistake because inevitably I would have to just drain off some of the water because it would get to be too liquidy. For this recipe, you just add a cup of water. I'm doubling it, so I'll use 2 cups. And that way it basically steams the apples and it releases all the juices. So what you're left with is not straining off a single bit of the juice or, the apple juice. You're left with all the flavor left in the applesauce. So it is so good. All I'm going to do now is add in the ingredients, put the lid on, put it to a simmer, and it'll simmer for about 20 minutes, maybe a little longer since I doubled the recipe. And then you will see how amazing it turns out. I was wrong. It's 2 teaspoons, so I'm doing 4. Okay, and then you really want to make sure that you mix it all together. And then you actually bring it to a simmer over medium-high heat without the lid on, and then you cover it. And then while you're waiting, get yourself carameled apple. This I just absolutely love. Miss Richardson's caramel. So good. Took a couple minutes because there's really not much water in there, but you can see obviously it's starting to boil up, bubble up a little bit. So just turn it down a little bit, add the lid, and then you just wait. Okay, so my timer just went off. It's been going for 20 minutes, and it was starting to bubble out of my little steam hole, so I had to make sure I turned it all the way down. Let's test it. I was a little nervous about using these pans at first because they're non-stick and you're not supposed to use metal in it. And so I thought, well, how am I going to use my masher? But it turns out that when they're cooked down, when the apples are cooked down enough, all you really have to do is stir them and it mashes them on its own. You don't even have to actually use a masher. Just kind of mash and stir, and that's all you need to do. And you can just see all of that is such good juice in there. But I do think a lot of my flavoring, a lot of my cinnamon got boiled up, I think, to the lid, but that's okay. All right, so you can see there's definitely chunks in there, but that's how I prefer it. And if you wanted it even smoother, you could, food process it. You could probably put an immersion blender in there, whatever you want to do, but I prefer it like this. The cinnamon smell is insane. It is so, so good. So you're just gonna have to trust me that it is really, really good applesauce. I don't really like it when people taste test their food on camera, so I'm not gonna do that and show you my reaction and stuff. You just need to trust me that I've made this. This is my 5th time, I think, this fall making this recipe, and it goes quick. Our favorite way of eating it is probably warm like this with a little scoop of vanilla ice cream on it. Eating it just obviously plain and cold is really good too. It's quite filling, so just be warned. But anyway, if you need a good applesauce recipe, I think you would probably love this one. You should try it out. And I'm glad you guys got a chance to go down to the orchard with me and just kind of look around down there. It's a whole nother part of our property, an area that I really, really enjoy. I don't show it often, but it was nice to get the chance to take you guys down there and take a look. So hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're enjoying this fall day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.